Hola, ¿cómo están? Yeah, Sherry, thank you very much. And thank you very much for your donation. It was buy fresh fruits. I like that. Um, I'm going to, in the more information I'm going to put down, I'm going to give you, I opened a Discord just to share the messages. And also that would be a good place for me to give you the formula, they gave me to make tinctures. Now, one of the tinctures that they told me to do, they're very important, is dandelion, milk thistle, and mullein. I never heard of that before until I spoke to them. Well, I communicated with them. So mullein. Now, there's two types of dandelions. There's the leaf, and then I believe it's the leaf and the roots. And so one is for the kidneys, and the other one is for the liver, right? Milk is for the liver, and mullein is for the lungs. Now, why mullein? Well, because they told me that the air is not. We have chemtrails and aluminum and all gases and all stuff in the air that is affect your breathing. So they told me to do the mullein to keep my lungs clean, to clear and keep my lungs healthy. And the liver, of course, the kidneys those are the filters, of the body, and to keep that clean, because they process a lot of toxins in the body. So that this is the three things that I'm doing, the three tinctures, and they told me to do it because come next year there may be delays in, or maybe restrictions, or maybe not being able to get, my, if you have an emergency, or if you're used to getting your tinctures, you may not be able to get it. So you got to learn how to do it yourself, okay? So they gave me a whole list. I have it. You need, I'm not going to tell you, but I'm going to give you an idea what you need. You can use alcohol, like vodka. Most of the tinctures that I buy have cane alcohol, but it's hard to find, and I couldn't find it because you can buy that online. So they say you can do the vodka, or you can do glycerin if you don't want alcohol. Then the other part is the one that I'm going to put in this code. Oh, I'm going to try to do it in here, write it down, but it's long. It's the ratio, right? How much alcohol, how much. But so the idea is that you take a Jason jar, put the the leaves or the roots, and soak them in alcohol, right, for like 5 days, and of course close it really tight and leave it there for 5 days. And every day shake it. I think shake it every day, maybe twice, maybe once, I don't remember now. And you leave it there. I think after 5 days, I believe, it's ready. You can drain it, just get the liquid out and put them in this amber spray bottles. Not spray bottle, I'm sorry, the droppers. They have a dropper. One of those little bottles, you can buy them in Amazon, and little ones, they're very cheap, amber. And put it there. And they can last, they told me, many, 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 many years, 15 years more. Okay? Now, another thing they gave me is a ritual to do in my backyard. And let me see if I put a picture. I think I have a picture here. I may share with you. I'm in OBS, so it's easy to change, images while I'm talking. But they gave me, Here, let me show you. Here is this. Is my here. Oh, it's kind of big. The picture came out too big. Let me see if I can make it smaller. Smaller. Okay, like right there. Put those flags. You know, I asked them if I could put those flags because I always liked those flags when I was in California. And they say yes, he's very happy, you know, for the yard. My yard was all dead. I started to get all green. You see how green? Started to get really beautiful. Of course, I'm renting, so I can't do too much. But another one they gave me is this. They told me to do that. I'm going to show you. Where's the other one? Okay, here. So they told me to write something, right? And put it there, which I need to do another one. Let me see if I make it smaller. Okay, right there. So they told me to write down these words, right? And put them in the yard. And the reason I do that is to because they say we need the sun. The sun give us codes, right? And they're blocking the sun. And they give me the reasons why, but I'm not going to share here because then we get into conspiracies, unquote conspiracy, right? But so they told me to do this and basically don't accept any distortion because I understand that for them distortion means negative, dark, shadow, right? Clarity is light, you know, is pure, is love. Distortion is dark, is greedy, mean, all that stuff. So they told me to put certain words in there, and as you can see, one of the words is sun. I put earth, and I put no distortion. I don't accept distortion. So distortion means, you know, chemtrails, you know, covering this sky with clouds. So I started doing that, and it's true. I've been getting the sun every day, you know, at least much more than before. Before it was just complete darkness, and this darkness, they told me the sun is antibacterial and antiviral. So what happened is you start to get mold in your house. The fruits go bad really quick. Everything starts to get moldy unless you live in the desert, you know, like Arizona. So, but you know, it starts to make you sick, you know, and the mold grows everywhere. So I've been getting more sun. Okay, so that's one of the things I wanted to share. Let me take this headphones off. So I'll give you the formula and do the same with your backyard. And so I did a ritual in my backyard to call in the sentinels and the guardians, and that nobody can come in my yard unless it comes from clarity and purity and love. Nothing, no distortion coming in my yard, and so it's blessed. But you can also do it with your house, where let me get rid of it. Where you can visualize a bubble around your house and to protect it from anything, physical or non-physical. I was under the understanding, you know, I thought that voodoo didn't exist, you know, witchcraft and all the stuff that I didn't believe in any of that. I don't believe that people can actually have control over you, you know, with witchcraft and especially, you know, voodoo and all this stuff. I never really believed in that. And even though I heard it all the time, you know, especially around Latinos, you know, they always talk about this, blah, blah, blah. I didn't believe in that. My belief was that it's all psychological, right? And I remember two people that asked me a long time ago, he said, what do you think about witchcraft? And I said, I don't believe it. I think it's all in your mind. And anyways, now, want to say in 2016 maybe, I ordered a bracelet, tourmaline. It's so funny because it's ridiculous, right? But tourmaline is a black, I think I'm pronouncing it right, but it's a black stone that's supposed to protect you, right? So I bought two bracelets, one for me, one for my son, and I just, as soon as I arrived, I put it on. My son, when he went to put it on, it broke into little pieces, so he couldn't wear. Me, I wore it, and also I started my whole arm, because I put it on my left, my whole arm started to vibrate. Like really. But I would look at my arm, and there was nothing. It was all inside. It's incredible. It was inside. And I started to get really like, what the fuck? So I took the bracelet off. I figured that's the only thing I did different. I took it off, and it went away. So I immediately knew something with that bracelet, and I threw away the bracelet. I have no idea. How can a bracelet that you buy from Amazon be giving you that, right? Many years later, I'm talking about 7 years later, when I started to communicate with these non-physical teachers, and then now with the Sentinels, they told me that indeed they have done work on the bracelet, And I thought, Chinese people do voodoo? And they say, yes, all races and cultures do voodoo. And I went, wow, I thought that was just certain people, We always hear about Haiti, right? And they say, no, all of them do that. And I said, wow, why would they do it randomly to just do it on a bracelet? They don't know me. Yeah, some people do that. I said, wow. So they told me, always, when you buy something. Actually, now I don't buy the bracelets from Amazon. I buy them, I go physically to a store, and it costs me much more money than if I buy it in Amazon or eBay. And I go in person and buy it. But I already have a lot of stone, big ones, but they told me to always clean it. Clean the candles, clean the bracelet, actually clean everything. It's not just the bracelets, it's not just the candles, none of that. You got to do everything. And I was, wow. Even a car that you buy, you should bless it, You should, it's actually, you think it's a blessing, but it's actually, you're removing any energy that is stuck in the car. Any energy. If you stay in a hotel, I don't stay in hotels, I don't go out anymore, but if anything like that. So I'm becoming like, wow, like those people that are afraid of germs, I'm not afraid of that. I'm just very aware that you have to clean everything before you use it, clothes. And so just to do it randomly, that's kind of weird, right? I thought, maybe they know you. I never know these people, I just order. And they told me that that's not the only way, that people can hurt you. They do it through, my cat wants to go out. They do it also projecting energy toward you, very, very heavy negative energy toward you. It makes you sick. It makes you very sick, and everything goes wrong in your life, right? So let's say an example, without getting personal, but if there's people that don't like you, let's say you get married and your in-laws hate you, only because, they don't want you, they don't like you for whatever reason, they don't like you. People sometimes don't like you because, I don't know, they don't like the way you talk, or because you're a foreigner, or whatever it is, Some people don't like you, that's it. Or the ex, even though she's not with him and doesn't want him, she still hates you. So there's people that are going to hate you, right? The haters hate. So, sometimes you just walk and the person look at you, they don't like you. They're crazy. They're a lot of very negative people. But when there's one of the things that are very dangerous, I think in my case, I feel that it's very dangerous, is to be in a relationship with the person is not doesn't love you and have lovers. Is not being loyal and honest. They have lovers, or they say they're cheating on you. It's very dangerous, because what happens is they usually, these men or women, they cry to the other. They meet a guy or they meet a woman and they start crying that my wife does say she's mean, she did to me, blah, 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 just to get sympathy from the person, right? And then they go, but I can divorce her because she will take everything away from me, or he will kill me if I leave her. They do all kind of things, and they're very manipulative, right? And the other person is start hating you. You don't know who they are. You're so innocent doing your own thing. You don't know your husband is cheating on you, doing things and talking shit about you, right? Or he just with his friends or whatever it is, right? And now all these people are hating you, and they're all projecting energy toward you, right? So all of a sudden you don't feel good. It's that little by little you don't feel good. You're tired. Then you have anxiety. Then everything starts to go like shit in your life, and you're thinking, what the hell's going on? Everything is going wrong in my life. Even the house, everything breaks down, Also clean your house before you move in. And if you live in a house and you never did that, do it now. It's never, do it now. Clean up everything in your house. So that's also voodoo. They said, but they don't use the word voodoo, but they say that's unconsciously, right? They unconsciously doing voodoo on you. And then there's the one that do it consciously. They actually go do some ritual against you, right? So either way, when you think about somebody and you talk shit about them and you just always thinking about them with anger and hate, you are doing voodoo, right? But you don't even realize you're doing it. And it affects you and it affects them. Don't think it's just going to affect them. If you hate them, it affects you, okay? And eventually what it does is it will come back to you, especially if the person realize what's happening, like me, and then they just show me how to send back all the energy back to them, what belongs to them, and get my energy back, right? So when you send all the energy they put on you, you send them back to them, well, you know what's going to happen. They everything they put out there is coming back to them. But it comes back even if you don't do it. But it does it more when you are consciously aware. I don't know who. I just said it in general because they told me. They didn't tell me names. They just told me. I don't need to know names. All I have to do is send it back to everybody, I send it back to them, and you send it with love, right? Here's all you hate with love. I send you all you hate back. Thank you very much. So that's the one thing that I wanted to let you know. I don't know if you believe in that. I didn't believe in that at all. I would argue with people that, nah, that's not it. And it does. And I was really surprised. And, but I'm happy to be aware and happy to take care of it, So that's why they told me next year I'm cleaning everything around me. My house, I'm getting rid of everything from the past pictures, all the shit. I mean, pictures when I was little, my mother, who cares? I'm throwing everything, burning everything, shredding everything, and cleaning my life. They say coming next year, I have to be clear of everything, right? And also clear any fragments, any debris I have from all the negative thoughts, the negative whatever work people did on me, and also the projection of negative energy toward me, consciously or unconsciously, clear up all that, cut ties with, you know, they call it hooks, you know. You get hooks with people. Cut all that, cut the energy, cut all the stuff, all the entanglements, you know, with people that are not good for me, because some people are just, you think they like you, but actually they're very manipulative. They want attention, and they look for you for attention, and but they don't like you. You know, they don't. They're using you, and you know all the stuff. So you just clear yourself from all that. I gotta put a clay mask in my face, and it gets really dry. So do your home, clear up everything, clean everything, and then you can use Palo Santo, you can use sage. They told me to put a bowl with water and salt and a crystal to pick up all the negativity energies, because let me tell you something, and I'll leave you here with this, is the other day, I was sitting here in front of the computer, and it was late at night. It was like 1 a.m, I guess. It was late. And I was doing my stuff, and I heard a lot of racketing in my kitchen, because my kitchen is right. We live in a garden home, it's a town home. So I'm in here. I put my computer down, and I'll tell you a story why I put it down. That's a very interesting story. I put my computer down here, and so if I turn right, my kitchen is there, right? And then there's a door that goes to the yard in the kitchen. So here I'm hearing all this racketing in the kitchen. I'm thinking, what the hell? Gang, 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 And I'm thinking, okay, that's a lot of freaking noises in there. What the hell is that? So I contacted them, and I asked them, I hear a lot of noises in my kitchen. What is it? So they told me it was energies, but also echoes. What do they mean by echoes? Echoes, when I used to go in the kitchen and cook, right? But being thought, or maybe I didn't want to cook. My body hurts, and I was like maybe angry or resentful or tired or whatever it is, anything that I did in the past, right? It was in there. Usually, it's I think it's usually when we are like resentful that we have to cook. I don't feel like cooking, and because your back hurts or whatever it is, we get to that point. I don't do that anymore, but I used to do that. I used to go cook, and I just so freaking my back hurt and all that stuff. And then resenting that I have to cook. Why do I have to cook? So they told me was that some of them was my echoes, the other one is all the energies, and they told me to get up and touch anything in the room, right? Touch the cabinets with one hand, open the window, and just open the window and put the intention on where they live. They live now, and open the window, right? And I'm going to give it to you exactly what they told me. And that's it. And I immediately got up and did that. Well, open the window. I put my hand in the cabinet, and I requested they leave now, right? Move on. Blah, blah. Then I closed the window, and it stopped. No more noises. And I used to hear them all the time. In the kitchen, like, what the hell is all the noise? No more noises. I stay until 3, or sometimes 3, 4 in the morning. 3 in the morning because I like to play video games. Nothing, no sound. So, very important that. Especially if you move in a house, if you're renting, all that stuff stays behind. It wasn't just my echoes, it was negativity, people that used to live here. How many people lived there? Imagine how many years. I think this was built in the 80s. So, but all the people that live here that were happy, that were sick, they weren't happy, they were fighting. Who knows? Who knows? Usually, and they told me that when there's like very, very disturbing emotional, those stay behind. They linger here, even after they die. So it's very important. And I'm going to talk more about that because I don't know what people think when somebody dies, And so clean your house, especially you don't know how many people actually, were sick in your place where you move, right? Like again, if you could be living in your house right now for 50 years, right? Well, not that long, but you could be since you were a little kid. But a lot of shit went on in the house, so you just need to clear. You need to clean all that shit. So anyway, just I do it. I do it. Try to do it every day. No, I do not do it every day, but I should do it every day. I think is to visualize my house in a bubble. So nothing comes in, especially with stuff that is happening, and it's going to be happening more because, again, I told you, the Earth is moving to a higher frequency, meaning the way I understand it is the Earth is moving to a new reality, where they don't abuse her, rape her, violate her, dishonor her, all the abuse that she received, right? All that abuse, no more. She's moving to a new reality. And anyone that is still greedy and money hungry and negative and projecting negative energy, hate and anger toward other people, I'm not going to move with the Earth. And many things are going to happen. They told me, so that's why I need to ground myself. Think about it. The Earth is flying, symbolically, of course. The Earth is moving up, and you're holding on to the Earth, right? You're holding on. Well, you're going to go with the Earth. But the ones that are not holding on to there, what happened? They stay in limbo. They stay there at least until the Earth completely leaves, and then they'll drop in in the old reality, not the new, the old reality. So while the Earth is moving, there's going to be what? Well, you're going to be vertigo, dizziness, like something is moving, like you're in a ship, it's moving. Except this is stronger. So you feel like an earthquake, like shaking, like vertigo, like dizziness, like nauseous. But it gets to the point it says that people would actually disassociate, like, wow, what the hell's going on? And have even live this reality. So I was like, wow, that sounds very strong, living in reality. So they say that you must ground yourself every day, every single day. If you can do it 2 or 3 times, even better. Sometimes it rains, but you have to do it. So that's So people that are, people leave comments in they're just so mean, right? Because sometimes I go into watch, I started going into Instagram, not because I like Instagram, and they told me to put some protection before I go into any social media so the energy doesn't come to me, because they said even opening an app, you receive the energy of the collective. And the collective is crazy. You're going to start feeling really bad. Your body hurts and everything. I know this is maybe new to you, but I always work with energy, so I know, and I had many experiences, so I know it's true. You don't want to believe it, that's okay. But for those who know, or that want to learn about this, is you just watching a video, you're receiving the collective, all the people that left comments in there, right? So when I go in the app sometimes, because, just, they told me not to do that, especially at night. But I used to go in bed and just put it there while I go to sleep and everything. And it would be funny. Many people, very, very funny. And that's what I like, and people from all over the world, they're freaking funny, the stuff they do. But I have seen women that are they're very beautiful, I find them such a beautiful, struggling, people. Especially I see it toward women, right? Where the other day I saw a young man, losing weight, is very, very heavy, but he lost already a lot of weight. And people so encouraging, supportive of him. He even has a wish list. I don't know how they do that, but a wish list where you put a wish list in Amazon and people buy stuff that you need. People buying a lot of stuff, so I think it's very, very supportive of him, which I think is amazing, great, beautiful. But I notice with the women that are overweight and they're just trying to do, of course they eat and everything. People so mean, even if they're not heavy, they're just so mean to the comments they leave, they're horrible. They're horrible. They're like just some dark entities, So people have become possessed by these dark energies, They just mean things like really mean things that they say to the person and attacking somebody. I don't understand why when you do a video and I go look at the video and I don't like it. And I can insult you and curse you, do things horrible, say horrible things to you. Why? Just leave, right? I don't like the video, just move on. Those people have big problems, right? They are possessed by dark energies. And they told me not everybody's a human, okay? So keep that in mind. Not everybody's a human. So don't pay attention. If you do videos, don't pay attention. I put a protection, so anything just bounces back to them. Whoever lives anybody that comes with these dark energies will bounce back to them. That's it. And you got to do the same. You do it for your house. If somebody's trying to come in your house, it will bounce back. It worked, believe me, it worked. And I can tell you a story. And I'll leave you with this story. This woman, I read a story that there was two women. Yeah, they were young, really young, maybe 17, 18, I don't know. Maybe 17. And they were part of the Manson. I think it's a cult or something. Manson, I don't know his first name, but it's some guy that, I don't know, they had a cult and killing people or whatever, or killed somebody. So the two girls, they told them to stay in this house in the mountains, really in the, for what, I don't know the whole story. All I know is that, I don't know why they did it, but Manson told these girls to stay there, in the house, that he was coming back the next day. And they were staying there, and then all of a sudden, that night, or this, I think in the afternoon or somebody, two guys came in. And they asked if they could stay here, because whatever. It was getting dark or whatever. And the girl said, the girl that told the story, she said she was so nervous, scared that Manson would come back and see them there because he might kill them or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So one of the guys noticed that she was really nervous. He took her. He said, what's the matter? And then they finally confessed to the guy that this guy might come back, and they told her the whole story with that guy, Manson. And then he's supposed to come back the next day, and they're afraid for him, blah, blah, blah. So one of the guys, she said, the other guy, he said, don't worry about it, I'm going to do something. And he put a magnetic wall, right, surrounding them. She didn't believe in any of that. She said, yeah, you can probably find the story. Just Google something, the story. She thought, oh my God, he's going to put a magnetic wall. They're going to, she's terrified because this is not going to work, right? Well, the next day, they decided the guys to come with us. They realize it's a cult, and they're gonna plan on killing somebody, something. So come with us. These two guys said. So she get a call not from Manson. I think it was from another member of the cult. They said that Manson can't find the place. And then I think Manson called her and said, like, where are you? I can't find it. Like, it's so weird, he couldn't find the place. He kept going in circles, he couldn't find the place. And of course, she said, oh, no, but play stupid, and then never again, just disappear with this. And then she ended up marrying the guy, by the way. And they're still married together. See, I think in the 60s, that happened in the 60s. So they're still married. So she was saying how this guy, his friend, how did they do that? How did that work? And because that was Manson's house, one of his houses, places where how can you not find it? Well, he couldn't find it. He kept going in circles. It was pissed. He couldn't find it. So I told these two people that story, I said to people, that should work. I've done it. I have done it since I was a young girl, because my mother told me that. It works. Nobody's going to come to your house. Nobody. If you put that wall. Actually, I have videos. There are trillions and trillions multiplied by zillions of orbs. There was so much and moving so fast that turn into clouds and then separate. I'm gonna upload them, okay? So I don't know, you probably shall remember this video. And but you came in my house and there was not one. How is that possible? You open the door and there were zillions. Open the door to go in the house, nothing in the house, maybe one or two orbs. So I asked why, and they said because I put an intention. I didn't want any other side of my house, and I say, yeah, that's true, because I did put an intention. I put that just mentally I thought, like, I don't want this shit in my house. And I remember having a big TV. I don't know, I bought it, it's stupid. But I bought this huge TV that was, the old-fashioned TV. They're very thin and light and huge. No, there was one of those, I think it was 72 inches, huge and heavy. And I decided to throw it in the garbage. I don't want any of this shit in the house, I don't want electronics, anything. And I cleaned up so there was maybe 2 or 3 orbs. And also, I would record and I would hear things, okay? So there was shit in there going on. But another thing is, and that would be the next video I'm going to do, is they say don't talk to the Ouija board. Don't try to communicate with the other side. Okay? Because I'll leave you with that. And I thought, well, I never did it, right? I'll tell you the story. But trying to communicate with the other side, no. Very dangerous. So just keep that in mind. Okay, have a good day. And thank you again for the donation. I really appreciate it. I appreciate that your appreciation for the work that I'm doing and supporting it. Thank you.